हृदयात् ॐ।
Dear devotees, you are about to embark on the greatest journey of your life. Journey to the core of your inner being. Please, all in a low voice, follow the Omkar and let your mind reach a quietude of silence. All together, let us repeat the pranava. Please sit up straight, and in the quietness of your mind, hear the sound of your breathing. Breathe in and out. In, out. Now, open your eyes and see the light in front of you. This is the light of a candle. Gaze intently at the light. Now, feel the light shining in the center of your forehead. Now half close your eyes and feel the light in the center of your forehead. Now, let that light come down your neck, to the center of your chest. Imagine a flower, a lotus, opening petal by petal to receive the light. Now the light is resting on the lotus. The lotus disappears, only the light remains. But it is no more the light of the candle. It is a round ball of formless light. It is a light of divinity within you. Feel this light now expand, and feel the light going down your body, into your legs, up to your feet. Feel warmth as the light surges through your limbs. And make this mental vow, O Lord, my legs, touched by the light of your divinity, will always take me only to places of goodness. Feel the light surging upwards, up into your chest, around your shoulders, and down into your arms and fingers. Feel the warmth as this light surges through you. Make this mental vow, O Lord. My arms, touched by the light of your divinity, will only yearn to do what is good. Now feel the light surging upwards, into your neck, and into your face, into your head. And the light now shines in your eyes. Make a vow. My eyes must yearn to see only what is good. Feel the light now shining in your ears. My ears must yearn to hear only what is good. Feel the light now shining on your lips. My lips must yearn to only speak what is good. Now, feel this light now shining into your whole body. The light illumines the body. In your mind, repeat the words, "The light is in me." Now feel the light expand. Expand, and you are now sitting in a ball of light, in a cone of formless light. Let your mind say, "The light is within me. I am in the light." Feel a thrill of this light, and now feel this light expanding, expanding and filling this entire room with a divine glow. And let this light now go beyond this room, beyond and beyond, spreading ever further to this whole country, and beyond this country, beyond oceans and beyond nations. Let this light flow ever outwards to encompass the whole world. Now, imagine yourself, not your physical body, but an inner being within you, like a gigantic divine form, sitting on the globe, and the light of your divinity, the light of your love, encompassing the whole world. Stay for a moment, thrilled in that thought. Now, bring into your mind's eye and send your light of love to all the creatures of the world, all the animals and insects, creatures that fly or crawl. All of them are God's creatures. Send your light of love now to those whom you dislike or whom you think dislike you. Send your love, send your light of love to them. The same Atma in you is also in them. Let them feel the radiance of your light. Let them feel the radiance of your love. Now, into your mind's eye, bring those you love, your spouse, children, relations, friends, whoever. Bathe them with the divine glow of your love. Feel oneness with the whole world. Feel at peace with yourself. And now, look inside you. Can you imagine? Do you see a ball of light within you? In this ball of light, bring in the form of the Ishtadeva, the divine being that you love and worship. See this form smiling within you. See this divine form raise his hands in blessing. You have shared your love with the world. Now, receive the blessing and darshan of the divine within. Stay for a moment, thrilled in this thought that you and he are one. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti.
I offer my humble and loving pranams at the lotus feet of our Divine Lord. Bhagawan Shri Satya Sai Baba. Jai Sai Ram, brothers and sisters.
Jai Sai Ram.
Lovely to see you all here for our first study circle. Can we have some clicks, please? And again.
You have to read it, the writing is a bit small.
Okay. A couple more clicks, please. So the topic tonight will be how do we know we are progressing spiritually, which I guess is quite topical. Because how do we know we're progressing spiritually? I guess we'll find out. If we could have the next slide, please. So what do you think spiritual progress is?
We would like everybody to contribute,
Yeah.
please.
This is an interactive study circle. Because you haven't come here to hear me lecture. And I haven't come here to lecture.
Right.
Please.
Okay, if you could see them and I'll take
Okay.
this.
So what do you think spiritual progress is? Any contributions, thoughts? Yes?
I think when you feel like you're coming closer to God, that is spiritual progress.
That's good. Thank you. Anyone else? Don't be shy.
What do you think?
When you don't feel worried,
Okay.
or like, yeah.
Rupert, if you could just repeat
Feel
it,
controlled
because
by
they
you.
have
Oh,
got
sorry.
the mic.
What do you think spiritual progress?
I meant your answers.
Oh,
because-
sorry. Sorry.
Because he
Sorry.
hasn't
What
got
did
a mic.
what did you? If you say again, I'll repeat it.
I said, when you're going closer to God, then you feel like you're spiritual.
Okay. So when you're getting closer to God, and yours, Andy?
When you don't feel worried.
When you don't feel worry.
Darren's got it.
Sorry.
Is spiritual progress like contributing to things about God? Can you do mic?
Give me the mic.
Yeah. Can we give them the mic, please?
It's gone.
Thank you.
Has it got one?
Is spiritual progress like contributing to things about God?
Yeah. If that's how you see it. Yeah. That's good.
Spiritual progress for me is when you notice God everywhere, omnipresent everywhere, above you, below you, environment, trees, rivers, mountains, and you see God in every human being, in every creature that is, breathing and walking on this planet. Then you realize that we're all one.
Okay. Turn it back. You've got a mic to your left.
Hand it to.
Swami says, love all, serve all. Just as think, today you are loving some people. Next day you add some more people. Try to adding up loving more and more people.
Sounds good.
And then you will think that you are progressing.
Loving more and more people. Any contributions from the ladies? We've not heard from the ladies tonight.
When you realize more and more your true nature, that's when you progress more and more spiritually, because you get closer to your real self,
And your real self being.
which is God.
Yeah. I think when your relationship with the inner, when the relationship with your inner self isn't conditional or transactional, I think that is progress.
Any more contributions?
I think I'd go along what Alan is saying actually, but a little bit further.
Okay.
Yes, if you're doing bhajans and you're doing prayers and service and all that kind of thing, but that doesn't necessarily, state that spiritual progress. But actually, when you're available to the things that happen to you. So, for example, if somebody asks you a question, and you might answer that very nicely to one person, even to another person, but then are you ready, are you available when somebody is asking a very difficult question, as an example, and then you get stressed, or you get impatient, or there's no perseverance, or the ego comes in. If we can handle that to an extent, I think that's progress.
Very good. Very good. Any more contributions? Priya?
When we become really empty, hollow and empty, and the tune God plays His tune through us.
Very good.
Very good. Any more from the ladies?
Come on, ladies.
Don't be shy.
Very shy. shy. I think
Very shy.
taking the track. When our son is done, it's always got to be.
Yeah, listening.
Okay, all right. Can we have the next slide then, please? Oh, sorry. Yeah, and click again. One more click, please. So we come to the scenarios. Would somebody like to read it out, please? Thank you.
A spiritual aspirant. A feels love and kindness towards those who help him, but not much love towards those who do not help him. He justifies this by saying, if they did more for me, I would love them. He does not feel he needs to change. Is he making spiritual progress?
So what do people feel? Any thoughts?
No.
No, you don't think he's...
No.
Why is that?
No. Swami says, even if somebody's done harm to you, or speak ill of you, you see me in that person. You do good for that person who has harmed you.
Yeah.
So Swami says, forget the good that you've done to others, but remember the good that others have done to you. So in this scenario, if somebody's upset by another person and they kind of shut their doors, eyes and ears, that to me is not progress at all. That's a backward step.
Okay. Does anyone feel he is making spiritual progress? Jenny?
Maybe the circumstances are creating an opportunity for them to change. With change comes transformation. So although they may not be progressing spiritually very fast, they're on their journey.
They're still making some
So they're making, who are we to judge whether they're making the spiritual progress? But we have to be in situations that challenge us for us to change, because if things don't happen, then we just stay the same. And although they say he does not feel the need to change, but it is kind of forced on us because we're put in situations where we are challenged.
That's true, very true. Any more contributions? I think it's interesting that he loves those who help him. So that's some progress, because he might not, if he didn't love them, who helped him. So
That's a good point of view here.
okay. Can we have the next scenario then, please? Should I move it? So a spiritual aspirant B is very compassionate towards animals and humans, and is always happy to help others, but is not very disciplined regarding their meditation, namasmarana, etc., and only rarely engages in such activity. Could they be said to be making spiritual progress?
Yes.
Yeah. Can you explain your answer, please?
Well, just sitting and doing meditation and namasmarana, it's a method, it's a tool of helping you progress, but it doesn't actually tell you whether you progressed or not. Like there could be people going to Bhajans every week, but if they don't love animals and they don't love people, then, where's the spirituality in that?
Should they have more discipline, and then would they make more spiritual progress if they were disciplined?
So I think, as I said, it's a tool. Meditation, namasmarana, they are tools to help us engage in activities which help us calms our mind and help us progress towards being compassionate, towards being humble,
Sure.
Towards animals and humans.
Okay. Jenny?
But we're all on a bespoke journey, so something like meditation or namasmarana, it's not going to suit everybody, but there'll be something else in their life that creates the change. Some people are much better at doing service activities, some people are very good at bhajan singing. It's all part of the path that we're all on, and we're all in different places on that path, so
So you're saying spiritual progress is not one size fits all, basically?
No, it isn't.
And that's quite funny, actually. About 2 weeks ago, me and Chirag were chatting back here, and I said, look, it's confusing because when we went to World Youth Conference, Swami said it only takes 11 seconds for someone to contemplate on God and attain liberation. That's all it takes, he said. And then on top of that, you read all these discourses and everything, and he's saying you should do this, you should do this, you should do this. about 10,000 different things you should do, so what do? How many things do you want me to do? That's what I was saying to Chirag. And I was like, and he was like, well, everyone's on their different journeys, everyone's got different strengths, different scenarios in their life. So for one person, it may lead to like a domino effect. You start something and it's going to lead on to something else. Things just tend to fall into place. So he's compassionate towards animals and humans. He's always happy to help others. There's two things there. He's always happy and he's always happy to help. That's two things done. But he's not very disciplined regarding meditation, namasmaran. That's his own personal journey. The fact that he's helping others and he's compassionate towards others, he's spreading love outside of himself, I feel.
Yeah.
That's his own individual, the namasmaran meditation side, perhaps it's his own inner journey that he needs to, perhaps, I can't do it, I don't do that. So I think that's probably like me.
No, but again, if I could, I think just to add to that, Matt, I think if you take Lord Buddha, he did so many spiritual practices, and he read so many spiritual texts, and eventually he just gave up. He did his namasmaran and all that kind of thing. This is in Swami's discourse, by the way. And eventually it was meditation that actually enlightened him, that ultimately got him to enlightenment. So a lot of these things are tools, but for some people, meditation can give you enlightenment in 11 seconds. But again, to get to that 11 seconds, it takes a long time. There's lots of practice. Your mind has to be really silent. So there's so many other things to do before you get to those 11 seconds.
How do you know that?
Sorry?
How do you know that?
Because
How do you know that it's not, it's God's grace at the end of the day?
Absolutely, that is also true as well. Because, if it is His grace, then probably 11 seconds, you probably, as he says, you do it in 11 seconds. But you are right, yes. I don't know that. But, I think from looking at it from my perspective, it takes a lot of effort. Look at Buddha, for example. He did all these spiritual practices.
But you don't know your past lives. You don't know where. None of us know where we are on the spiritual path. We're all in different places. There could be enlightened souls somewhere amongst us, and we just don't know that.
An enlightened being sitting here.
No, and the thing is that there could be people. You could probably, there's a guy called Michael McCarthy, and he was into drugs and money laundering and all kinds of things, and eventually he went. Swami told him his past. And eventually he went into the right path, into the spiritual path, and his progression was kind of like so quick. It was accelerated because Swami, I don't know what he did, but he came into the right path, going from drugs and money laundering and all kinds of things. So you're right. If it's the grace of God, then we all need, ultimately it's all His will, and He's doing everything. So I think perhaps our objective should be to win the grace of God. If you haven't won it in our past lives, then carry on trying to win.
Perhaps we don't need to win it, perhaps it's just His grace when He gives us grace.
Arun Bhai, Michael McCarthy is a very good storyteller.
Yeah.
I have heard him, his talk.
Okay, any more contributions? No? Okay, if we could have the next slide, please. Right, Maureen, would you like to read it out, please?
C has been trying to learn the Rudra for the last 10 years, but has still not succeeded. Is he making spiritual progress?
What do we think?
You're a teacher, Rudra teacher.
Yeah, the fact that that person is trying to learn, this is already progress, because the will is there, the determination is there, and it doesn't matter where you reach in the end, as long as you try your hardest.
And they've spent 10 years, that's a long time.
Yeah, so I would say.
So if he's not given up for 10 years,
yeah,
he must be making progress.
I would have thought so, yeah.
Someone is slow learner, someone is fast learner, right?
Yeah, you've got a mic to your left.
everybody get my answer, I think.
Yeah.
Someone is slow learner, someone is fast learner, possibly.
True, true.
But at least he's disciplined in attending past 10 years.
But you do your best, and then leave the rest to him.
Okay. All right, next slide, please. This is a nice big question. Are you making spiritual progress?
Now, somebody who's not answered is going to answer this now. And there's no judgment. You just want to say, are you making spiritual progress or not?
Nikesh, would you like to?
I'll say yes. Because we just have our own ideas when we do this. There's no right or wrong answer when we do this. We have our own judgment.
Oh no, yeah.
And we share our ideas with our friends, family, members, who we may not know or who we do know. But we just share our ideas with them to make them happy.
Yeah.
Just the smallest thing can make a big difference.
I guess, the main thing is if you think we're making spiritual progress, that's it.
Right. Ladies, you've got to tell me
That's
now.
it.
Are you making spiritual progress? Oh.
Yeah, you can all share.
We're all going to share.
Of course, they are, because this God says in silence you can hear the God, eh? So they are quite a silence.
I would say, I'm not very good at it, but I'll say every minute, whenever I look, wherever I look, I find even the stranger people will smile at me, and Swami said, smile is a thing what you can give. And all of a sudden, they will talk about the spirituality, even though I don't know the person. And that makes me to say that Swami is omnipresent. He answered the question. Even the stranger, sometimes my Sanjay tells me, oh, Mommy, don't talk with a stranger. I said, if they talk about the spirituality, if they fight, and that's a different question. But if they talk about any religion, not just one religion, it's about the spirituality, then I feel Swami is with me all the time.
So that makes you feel you are making spiritual progress. Yes, that's great.
What about
Thank you.
No, but I'm trying to started reading books, but now that I'm retired, so I think slowly I'm there.
I think all of us who have come to the Sai Center, we must have made spiritual progress. So, you know in yourself, don't you?
Yes, because I think when during retirement, I'm trying to read and make some timing for prayers. So I think it'll take a while, but trying to go.
But with all your children as well, you train them so well with spirituality and that, so you've been a wonderful spiritual teacher.
It's the Sai Center which brought them. Swami brought them.
Yes. Okay, thank you.
Anybody else wish to answer?
Let's see who's not answering. Anna, can you give it to them? Some ladies are
The gentleman's not shy. We'll just...
Okay, well, I came in Swami's fold in 1966. So, comparing from that point onwards, up till now, my journey has been, in Swami's fold. So, looking at that time, which was, I was only about 14 years old, and attending Bhajans, attending other activities, yes, I have made some progress, not much as it should be, but...
How do you know you've not made much?
Sorry?
How do you know you've not made much?
Well, from my perspective, to measure spirituality is, I look at it this way, that if I pray to Swami, and Swami then gives me signs, or whether it be in dreams or whether of any other kind of, parcha as it's called, then I would feel that I have actually, come that much closer to Swami. I do have these times when I say to myself, well, all these years I've been in Swami's fold, but I've not had the chance to be in close physical proximity of Swami. Why was that? But then again, my mind says, well, that's not really the case, because Swami is everywhere. He's omnipresent. And with that, I can say that, yes, Swami has actually given me his darshan in my dreams. But those dreams are dreams. But when you get a dream, you tend to forget as soon as you get out of the bed. But I've had dreams where this dream which Swami has given and has given a darshan has stayed with me up to now.
Wow, great blessing. Yes.
Laliben, sorry, I'm not going to speak against you.
No, why?
But,
you have an opinion.
Coming to Sai Center is not a spiritual progress. That's what I'm thinking.
Can you explain why?
Yes, I can explain. Wait a minute. I'm hearing the talk on Radio Sai about Lalitamma. From her very young age, Swami took her in his fold, and Swami saw her to progress in spiritual path. Swami only saw the path. Here coming, we can learn about his message and then we can progress, but we have to walk on that path. And that's what we need to know, whether we have made progress or not, Okay.
So putting things in practice.
Yeah, practice, yeah.
So even practicing human values.
Yes, everything.
But I personally feel that all of us who come to the Sai Center, it's not our choice. Swami's held our hand.
Yeah, it's His grace we can come here.
It's His grace. And we've all got our paths. I agree with all of them that we've got our paths. But if we look back on our lives, Swami will give us a little slap. He'll pull our hand a little bit. But if you look back, you can see that Swami has taken you. You are a better person than you were yesterday, or the day, year before, or whatever. Everybody coming to the Sai Center, you'll find you are a bit more calmer, you're a bit more empathetic, you're a bit more tolerant. Well, that's what I feel.
And I think just coming here, because we could all be sat watching television.
Yeah.
If we get hold of that book, Atma Bandhu, she wrote the book Atma Bandhu, but it's not many books there. If you are lucky, if you can find it, we can learn it more. I heard that her story by Visu Prusti in Radio Sai, Thursday Live. Okay. Swami always asks us to practice, not to preach. Swami says in Telugu, Pichuvala, Chepinatu Chestara, Kadu Kadu. Means you madcap, do you practice as you preach or say? Kadu Kadu means no.
Okay, thanks. Jenny, have you got?
There's a lot of people out there who are from, you would consider highly spiritual people, but they don't follow Swami.
Yeah.
They don't know of him.
Yes.
They, if you mention his name, they wouldn't have a clue. But they could be from all sorts of backgrounds, religious, non-religious.
Yeah.
Their path in life, that might be just spiritual rather than have a religious life. So, yes, I think we're very fortunate to come here, but there are an awful lot of people who don't, but that doesn't make them unspiritual.
I agree. No, I totally agree. And
there are enlightened souls out there as well that You know, we don't know about them because they're enlightened.
And they don't feel the need, I imagine, to come
Well,
out.
there's not the ego attached, so.
Yeah, I'll give you an example of what Jen's saying is, thanks.
If you have a mic. Please.
My second experience of Swami was when I was working in Market Harbour. An English gentleman gave me a book by Howard Murphy and Vibhuti and all this, and you know, I think I was about 28 then, and you know, after 20 years, I wanted to thank him. And I looked, you know, his name up in a number of places. Lindsay Lloyd was his name, and eventually found him at the third attempt. And we met up, and I asked him. I says, "Well, why don't you go into Swami?" And he said exactly this. He says, "I don't need to. He says, I've got everything." And I think he was it one of these Masons, Freemason. Yeah, and he says, "I've got everything." He says he pointed me in the right direction, and now, you know, he's just experiencing, being, yeah. So
I think the thing about this question for me is sometimes I feel I'm making progress. If it's a good day and I've not shouted at anybody or whatever, not that I don't shout much. And then other days I don't. When I get annoyed when somebody cuts in front of me, I'm chilled about that. I'm really quite chilled about that, but the thought is there. But I guess I'm making progress because I'm aware that...
But if there's bad thoughts in there, they've got to come out, because you can't... that's not something to live with. No. So, you know, Swami talks about Prashanti being a madhouse, because he's bringing out all the negative and all the things that are perhaps not quite right. It all comes out, because once it's come out and you've faced it, then hopefully things will get better and you will deal with things differently. So
is he sending me all these drivers to upset me then?
Yeah, absolutely. Because eventually, when things happen so often, eventually how you deal with them changes. You know, you get to the point where you don't get upset, or you don't get cross, or you keep calm and you look at it from a different place. So that's when change comes about, that's the transformation. Yeah. But it keeps coming at you until eventually a penny will drop and something changes.
They do keep coming, keep cutting in front.
Otherwise you'd just be walking about being angry all the time, and that's not...
Oh, Taryn.
Sorry, Taryn, thanks for that.
Yeah, I think, Jenny, we're all, at some point in our lives, we've all gone through this, you know, different experiences, and we have to go through these experiences to get to the next level.
We do.
I think we're all of us here are taking part in spiritual progress because we're all taking part in Bhajans.
Good point.
Yeah.
Oh,
good point. Sorry, we've got
I just want to add to what you just mentioned, Jenny, as well, when she said the madhouse. I always thought that the Kulwant Hall was the psychiatric unit, and the super specialty hospital was focusing on the physical. And yes, when I went to many Sai Mahimas, the way Swami made all his children from all different level of students, from primary, secondary, even university, do the drama. We are going through a process of refinement, spiritual progress. He addresses like Divya Swarup, embodiment of light, embodiment of love, embodiment of peace, and the most beautiful one is Bangaru. For me, it's like when it's not the body, it's the energy that we are radiating around us, and we free ourselves from all the dirt of anger, greed, jealousy, and we become that pure innocence, Bangaru, pure gold, full of love, all the values.
I've been given my minutes warning, so and I may be back in the future to continue. Until then, Sarah.
भुवस्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यम् भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो न प्रचोदयात्। ॐ साईश्वराय विद्महे सत्यदेवाय धीमहि तन्नः सर्वः प्रचोदयात्। ॐ श्रीभास्कराय विद्महे साईदेवाय धीमहि तन्नः सूर्यः प्रचोदयात्। ॐ प्रेमात्मनाय विद्महे हिरण्यगर्भाय धीमहि तन्नः सत्यः प्रचोदयात्। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। Who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, the power, and the glory, forever and ever. Amen. Agya Kal ki कभी चलायो पंथ सबसे को हुक्म है गुरु मानियो ग्रंथ गुरु ग्रंथ जी मानियो प्रकट पुरानी है जो प्रभु को मिल पूछे खोज शब्द पहले राज करेगा खालसा आखी रहे न कोई सब मिलेंगे बचे शरण जो होए भाई गुरु नाम जाचे चढ़े चले पार जो शरणा कर सेवने गुरुपाद उतारनहार जो शरदा कर सेवने गुरुपाद उतारनहार बुद्धं शरणं गच्छामि धर्मं शरणं गच्छामि संघं शरणं गच्छामि ॐ नमो हरिहन्तानां Gurumatre Namaha, Sri Gurubhyo Namaha, Hari Om. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti.
Jai 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 Galanayaka, Jai Jai Vinashaka.
Jai 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 Galanayaka, Jai Jai Vinashaka.
Jaya Shiva Galanayaka, Vaidya Bhuti Pradayaka.
In the garden of my heart, there I plant the seeds of love.
In the garden of my heart, there I plant the seeds of love.
In the garden of my heart, there I plant the seeds of love.
नाम राम नाम साई राम पुण्य नाम पवित्र नाम राम नाम साई राम पुण्य नाम पवित्र नाम राम नाम साई राम पुण्य नाम पवित्र नाम राम नाम साई राम हरे कृष्ण हरे राम मधुर 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 नाम साई राम पुण्य नाम पवित्र नाम राम नाम साई राम पुण्य नाम पवित्र नाम राम नाम साई राम करुण सिंधु सीताराम दीनबंधु राधेश्याम 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 हरे कृष्ण हरे राम मधुर नाम साई राम 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 पुण्य नाम पवित्र नाम राम नाम साई राम पुण्य नाम पवित्र नाम राम नाम साई राम हरे कृष्ण हरे राम मधुर नाम साई राम हरे कृष्ण हरे राम मधुर नाम साई राम पुण्य नाम पवित्र नाम राम नाम साई राम पुण्य नाम पवित्र नाम राम नाम साई राम करुण सिंधु सीताराम दीनबंधु राधेश्याम करुण सिंधु सीताराम दीनबंधु राधेश्याम हरे कृष्ण हरे राम मधुर नाम साई राम 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 पुण्य नाम पवित्र नाम राम नाम साई राम
Bhagawan Shri Satya Sai Baba Bhagawan Kali Yuga Avata Bhagawan Devanava of my heart come to me.
Sai Ram, hear my call to you. Sai Ram, hear my call. Sai Ram, hear my call to you. Sai Ram, hear my call. Sai Ram, hear my call to you. Sai Ram, hear my call. Sai Ram, hear my call to you. Sai Ram, hear my call. Sai Rama, I know you must hear my call. Sai Rama, I know you must hear my call. Sai Rama, I know you must hear my call. Sai Ram, hear my call to you. Sai Ram, hear my call. Sai Ram, hear my call to you. Sai Ram, hear my call. In my heart is a burning yearning for you. In my heart is a burning yearning for you. In my heart is a burning yearning for you. In my heart is a burning yearning for you. I am waiting, I am Asato ma Sadgamaya Tamaso ma Jyotirgamaya Mrityorma Amritam Gamaya. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Om Tat Sat Sri Narayana Purushottama Guru Om Jai Jagadish Hare Swami Satya Sai Hare Bhakta Jana Samarajana Bhakta Jana Samarajana Adi Maheshwara Om Jai Jagadish Hare Shashi Vadanati Sarva Pranapati Swami Sarva Pranapati Asita Kalpalatika Asita Kalpalatika Amanadava Om Jaya Jagadish Hare Mata Pita Gurudai Mariyandayudivai Swami Mariyandayudivai Rada Brahma Jagannath Rada Brahma Jagannath Narayana Shayana Om Jaya Jagadish Hare Omkara Omkara Sai Mahadeva Satya Sai Mahadeva Mangala Arati Mangala Arati Mangala Nilai Om Jaya Jagadish Hare Narayana Narayana Om Satya Narayana 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 Om Narayana Narayana Om Satya Narayana 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 Om Jaya Sadgurudeva Narayana Narayana Om Satya Narayana Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Samasta Loka Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Jai Bolo Bhagawan Shri Satya Sai Baba Ji ki Jai.
I offer my loving and humble pranams at the lotus feet of our beloved Bhagawan Shri Satya Sai Baba. Jai Saram to everyone. I'd like to thank Rupert and Nalini Aunty for preparing the study circle and delivering it today. It's one of those topics where you can talk and talk on, because especially for me, because I don't know, like everyone in this room, I think I've seen like ever since I was probably down here, and every time I see you every week, it's like, have I progressed spiritually? I'm not sure. So we're still here. That's why, and I feel like if we don't have it any Thursday that we haven't had for the last 2 years, I feel like we're missing something. We're missing. There's a collective power that we all feel when we do bhajans together. That's what we feel when we do youth bhajans, like jamming at people's houses or just getting together. It uplifts the soul, and I think that in itself is a form of spiritual progression as well. When you just feel good about something. I'll get my announcements out.
So, Anand, if
Yes.
everybody is worried about their spiritual progress, they must come to the next study circle.
Next study circle.
Until we get to the end,
Yes.
and I guarantee everybody will go home happier.
And the thing is, this topic brings about different topics as well. It brings about ideas as to what new things can we do. What new things can we do for, I don't know, Swami's birthday. Just projects on our own individual paths. Like there's always, we can always take inspiration from each other. And you know what, if we want to come together and do things like this, just talk about things like this, I'd be up for it, and I hope everybody else will join us. I think we had it on Zoom today, didn't we? Did we have it on Zoom? On stream, yes. So I'm sure everyone watching from home would have had some ideas as well. So please come next time, because that leads me on to say, as announced last week, it will be our last session of streaming bhajans after 2 long years. The guys here have done an amazing job. Please give them a round of applause. Many times they said, "Oh, we need help," and I was like, "Yeah, I'll help," and it happened. But they managed it by themselves, like fantastically, and they brought bhajans from other countries, other cities, to our homes. Basically, they've spread Swami's glory in a sense. So we're going to have to celebrate. We're going to have a special live program next week. And I think it's still going to be streamed, but I still want people to come next week, because we've got the energy of the youth next week, and I think it'll be lovely just to kick everything off back to how it used to be. So please do come and participate in bhajans next week, normal time, from meditation from 7:45 to 8, 7:50 to 8. And that's it. That's our announcements for this week. So Jai Saram, and have a safe journey home, everybody. Saram.
Paramam pavitram Baba vibhutim, paramam vichitram Leela vibhutim, paramadrishat moksha pradanim Baba vibhutim, idamashya for